Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Friday, July 6, 2018. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's Major League Baseball action, look ahead to today's action, pick the two FIFA World Cup games for today, go over some NBA Summer League scores, and I'll talk about a big injury to one of baseball's contenders, talk about the best baseball moves since 2013 for every team, and do buy or sell MLB trade deadline edition. All right, here we go. World Cup today. Uruguay, France, 10 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, quarterfinals. Edinson Cavani is doubtful to play. I don't think he'll play. I like France in this matchup to advance. 2 o'clock on Fox Sports 1 is Brazil and Belgium. Belgium's had a nice little run, but Brazil's just a better team, and I like them to advance here. I'll pick tomorrow's games on tomorrow's podcast. Baseball, not many games yesterday because a lot of teams are traveling and whatnot. Perhaps the craziest game of yesterday, the Nationals defeated the Marlins 14-12 as they improved to 43-43. Miami drops to 36-53. Sean Kelly improves to 1-0. Adam Conley drops to 2-1. Sean Doolittle gets his 22nd save of the year. Top of the first, Martin Prado's safe at first base on the error by Anthony Rendon, allowing a run to score. 1-0 Marlins. Top of the second, 2-run single, JT Realmuto. 3-0 Marlins. RBI single, Justin Bour. 4-0 Marlins. 3-run home run, Martin Prado. 7-0 Marlins. And the Nationals were booed after the second inning. Top of the fourth, 2-run home run, Justin Bour. 9-0 Miami. Bottom of the fourth, here come the Nationals. Home run, Trey Turner. Nats are on the board, 9-1. Bottom of the fifth, bases loaded, walk, Adam Eaton, 9-2. Fielder's choice, Trey Turner, 9-3. 2-run double, Juan Soto made it 9-5. Bottom of the sixth, sacrifice fly, Daniel Murphy made it 9-6. Grand slam, Trey Turner, 10-6 Nats. Bottom of the seventh, RBI single, Spencer Keyboom, 11-9 Nats. 2-run single, Trey Turner, 13-9 Nats. RBI single, Juan Soto, 14-9 Nats. Top of the eighth, the Marlins make it a little interesting. 3-run home run, Brian Anderson to make it 14-12. That was your final. Jeremy Hellickson had his worst start of the season. 4 innings, 9 hits, 8 earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.81 ERA. Pablo Lopez, 5 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 5.73 ERA. The Rangers defeated the Tigers 7-5 as they improved to 39-49. Detroit drops to 38-51. Yvonne Gallardo improves to 3-0. Matthew Boyd drops to 4-7. Keone Keela gets his 21st save of the season. Top of the second, 2-run home run, Joey Gallo, 2-0 Rangers. Top of the third, RBI ground out, Nomar Mazara, 3-0 Rangers. Adrian Beltre safe on the error by Ronnie Rodriguez, allows a run to score, 4-0 Rangers. Top of the fourth, infield single, Isaiah Kiner Falefa, 5-0 Rangers. 2-run home run, Ronald Guzman, 7-0 Rangers. Bottom of the fourth, here come the Tigers. RBI single, John Hicks makes it 7-1. RBI single, Jim Aducci makes it 7-2. RBI single, Ronnie Rodriguez makes it 7-3. Bottom of the sixth, home run, Nico Goodrum makes it 7-4. Bottom of the ninth, RBI single, Victor Reyes, 7-5 Rangers was your final. Yvonne Gallardo, 5 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 5.87 ERA. Matthew Boyd, 4 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 4.58 ERA. The Brewers defeated the Braves 7-2 as they improved to 52-35. Atlanta drops to 49-37. Julius Chastain improves to 7-3. Max Fried drops to 1-3. Dan Jennings gets his first save of the season. Top of the first, RBI triple, Ozzie Albies, 1-0 Braves. RBI ground Freddie Freeman, 2-0 Braves. Bottom of the first, sacrifice fly, Jesus Aguilar, makes it a 2-1 game. Bottom of the second, RBI single, Tyler Saladino, ties it up at 2 apiece. RBI ground out, Eric Kratz, 3-2 Brewers. Bottom of the eighth, 2-run double, Christian Yelich, 5-2 Brewers. 2-run home run, Hernan Perez. 7-2 Brewers is your final. Julius Chassin pitched very, very well. 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 home runs, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 3.63 ERA. Max Fried, not so much. 3 innings, 4 hits, 4 home runs, 3 walks, and a strikeout. Leaves the game with a 3.92 ERA. The Twins defeated the Orioles 5-2 as they improved to 36-48. Baltimore drops to 24-62. Aaron Slegers improves to 1-0. Andrew Cashner drops to 2-9. Fernando Rodney gets his 18th save of the year. Bottom of the third, Bobby Wilson safe at second as a run scores on an error by Andrew Cashner. 1-0 Twins. RBI single Eddie Rosario. 2-0 Twins. Bottom of the fourth, home run Logan Morrison. 3-0 Twins. Top of the fifth, home run Jonathan Scope gets the O's on the board, makes it a 3-1 game. Top of the seventh, another home run by Jonathan Scope, makes it a 3-2 game. Bottom of the eighth, RBI single Max Kepler. 4-2 Twins. RBI double Jake Cave. 5-2 Twins is your final. Aaron Slegers, awesome game. 6 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 2.38 ERA. Andrew Cashner, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 4.39 ERA. The Astros defeated the White Sox 4-3 as they improved to 58-31. Chicago drops to 30-57. Joe Smith improves to 3-1. Joaquim Soria drops to 0-3. Bottom of the fifth, 2-run home run Jose Altuve, 2-0 Astros. Top of the sixth, home run Omar Narvaez gets the White Sox on the board to make it a 2-1 game. RBI double Yolmer Sanchez ties up at 2 apiece. Top of the eighth, home run Yuri Garcia, 3-2 White Sox. Bottom of the ninth, RBI single George Springer ties up at 3 apiece. The walk-off RBI single Yuri Gurriel, 4-3 Astros is your final. Justin Verlander, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 10 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 2.15 ERA. Carlos Rodon wasn't bad. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 walks, though, and 6 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 4.29 ERA. The Padres defeated the Diamondbacks 6-3 as they improved to 38-51. Arizona drops to 48-40. Eric Lauer improves to 4-5. Shelby Miller drops to 0-3. Brad Hand gets his 24th save of the season. Top of the first, RBI single Will Myers, 1-0 Padres. Bottom of the second, RBI single Jake Lamb ties it up at 1 apiece. Top of the fifth, home run Austin Hedges makes it a 2-1 game. Top of the sixth, RBI triple Will Myers makes it a 3-1 game. Eric Hosmer safe on the error by Nick Ahmed, allowing a run to score. 4-1 Padres. RBI single Freddie Galvis, 5-1 Padres. Top of the seventh, RBI single Carlos Asuje, 6-1 Padres. Bottom of the eighth, 2-run home run Ketel Marte makes it a 6-3 game. That's your final. Eric Lauer, 5 innings, 7 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Leaves the game with a 4.84 ERA. Shelby Miller, 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Leaves the game with an ugly ERA of 9. The Mariners defeated the Angels 4-1 as they improved to 56-32. The Angels dropped to 44-44. Marco Gonzalez improves to 9-5. Jaime Barria drops to 5-5. Edwin Diaz gets his 34th save of the season. Bottom of the third, RBI single D. Gordon, 1-0 Mariners. Top of the fourth, sacrifice fly Cole Calhoun ties it up at 1 apiece. Bottom of the fifth, RBI double Gomuro Heredia gives the Mariners a 2-1 lead. Bottom of the seventh, home run Chris Herman gives the Mariners up 3-1. Infield single Gene Segura, 4-1 Mariners is your final. Marco Gonzalez, 6 innings, 5 hits, and a run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.64 ERA. Jaime Barria, 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and a strikeout, leaves the game with a 3.39 ERA. The Cardinals absolutely destroyed the Giants 11-2 as they improved to 45-41. The Giants dropped to 45-44. That's their 4th straight loss. Luke Weaver improves to 5-7. Johnny Cueto drops to 3-1. Top of the first, RBI groundout Marcelo Zuna, 1-0 Cardinals. 3-run home run Jed Jerko, 4-0 Cardinals. Top of the second, home run Matt Carpenter, 5-0 Cardinals. Top of the sixth, RBI single Tommy Pham, 6-0 Cardinals. RBI single Marcelo Zuna, 7-0 Cardinals. 2-run double Jed Jerko, 9-0 Cardinals. Bottom of the sixth, 2-run home run Alan Hansen makes it a 9-2 game. Top of the seventh, 2-run home run Harrison Bader, 11-2 Cardinals is your final. Luke Weaver was outstanding. 8 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.92 ERA. Johnny Cueto, in his first start back off the disabled list, 5 innings, 10 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 1.95 ERA. Today's games, you have at 2:20 Reds Cubs, Tyler Mahle and Mike Montgomery. 7 o'clock Rangers Tigers, Bartolo Colon and Jordan Zimmerman. Marlins Nationals, Dan Straley and Gio Gonzalez. Phillies Pirates, Nick Pivetta and Trevor Williams. Yankees Blue Jays, Sonny Gray and Sam Gaviglio. Athletics Indians, Paul Blackburn and Carlos Carrasco. Rays Mets, Ryan Stanek and Jacob deGrom. 8 o'clock Braves Brewers, Mike Falta-Units and Freddie Peralta. Orioles Twins, Dylan Bundy and Lance Lynn. White Sox Astros, Reynaldo Lopez and Lance McCullers Jr. 8:15 Red Sox Royals, Chris Sale and Jason Hamill. 9:40 Padres Diamondbacks, Joey Lucchesi and Zach Godley. 10 o'clock Dodgers Angels, Kenta Maeda and Felix Pena. Rockies Mariners, Herman Marquez and Felix Hernandez. And last but not least, 10:15 Cardinals Giants, John Gant and Derek Rodriguez. Right now I'm going to talk about the NBA Summer League a little bit. Go over some scores from yesterday. The Warriors defeated the Lakers 77-71 in the Sacramento League. Marcus Derrickson put up 24 points and 11 rebounds in the win. Moritz Wagner had a double-double, 13 points, 13 rebounds in the loss. Xavier Rathon Mayes put up 14 in the loss for the Lakers, too. Also in the Sacramento League, the Heat defeated the Kings 86-76. Derrick Jones Jr. 19 in the win. Justin Jackson put up 26 in defeat. Utah Summer League, the Spurs defeated the Grizzlies 94-87. Derek White 26 points in the win. Wayne Selden put up 26 in defeat. Utah Summer League, the Jazz defeated the Hawks 92-87. Tony Bradley put up 15 points and 12 rebounds in the win. Tyler Dorsey put up 17 in defeat. Next, I want to talk about a big injury in Major League Baseball. Gleyber Torres, with a leg injury, was placed on the 10-day disabled list. That is a big, big blow for the Yankees. I don't think he's going to be back until after the All-Star break. At second base, they'll probably go with a three-way platoon of Brandon Drury, Neil Walker, and Tyler Wade. If I'm the Yankees, I'd give Brandon Drury most of the reps at second base for now, with Neil Walker a little bit of playing second base as well. Tyler Wade is somebody who's versatile, but I don't think he is a good major league player. To me, he's a quadruple A guy that dominates triple A, but is awful in the big leagues. So, big loss for the Yankees. If I had to make a guess on when Gleyber Torres will be back, I'm going to say after the All-Star break. I think him and Gary Sanchez will both be back for that Mets series after the All-Star break. And speaking of baseball, I'm going to talk about the best moves by every team since 2013. The Diamondbacks hiring Troy Lovello. I think Troy Lovello's done an outstanding job since going there. He's changed the culture there. They've been a winner ever since he's been there, which was just last year. And he's made some players turn into better players like Ketel Marte among them. And from the pitching side, Robbie Ray and a couple other guys as well in that bullpen. Andrew Chaffin and Braden Shipley among them. The Atlanta Braves selling high on Shelby Miller. Oh my God. This is a highway robbery trade. Everybody said it from day one. Dansby Swanson went in that deal, as well as a bunch of other pieces such as Ender Inciarte. And that is a huge win for the Braves. They ended up with 2 starters, position player-wise, in that trade. and Shelby Miller has been an absolute flop in Arizona. The Orioles, not giving up on Dylan Bundy and Kevin Gausman yet. Both of these guys have shown some promise throughout their times in the big leagues. None of them have really been consistent, but I think both of these guys have the upside to be above average, if not aces, in this league. The Red Sox trading for Chris Sale. Yeah, they haven't won a World Series with Chris Sale yet. And Chris Sale sometimes doesn't get the run support that he should be getting. But Chris Sale is a complete ace. He is a horse. He's so dominant. And good thing they did this move because, I'm sorry, Rick Porcello's not an ace. Yeah, he won the Cy Young Award in 2016, but the Red Sox knew he wasn't an ace. David Price is not living up to that contract that the Red Sox gave him, so they decided to go all in and trade for Chris Sale. Yeah, a couple of those prospects are going to end up as stars on the White Sox, but right now, this is a great move by the Red Sox. They have an ace up top of their rotation, and if they win a World Series championship within the next couple years, Sale will be a big part of it. The Chicago Cubs trading for Jake Arrieta. Yeah, Jake Arrieta is no longer a member of the Chicago Cubs, but trading for Jake Arrieta will go down as one of the best moves made by Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer. He was a horse in that rotation for a couple years. He won the Cy Young in 2015 after a monster second half of 2015. He's a World Series champion as well. And you can make a case that the Cubs should have kept him over signing Yu Darvish because Darvish has been a flop and Arrieta's been pretty good with the Phillies, although he had that rough start against the Yankees. But Jake Arrieta was a great Cub, and he should still be wearing Cubby blue, but they decided to let him go. But you got to give the front office credit for that trade. He was a big part of their turnaround in their World Series championship in 2016. And they didn't give up much for Jake Arrieta either, as they got him and Pedro Strop in that deal. The White Sox selling high on Adam Eaton and Chris Sale. They sure did. They have a lot of studs in return for those guys. On the Red Sox side, they ended up with their star second baseman, Yoan Moncada. And they end up with a stud pitching prospect, Michael Kopech, who should be in the rotation by the season's end. And on the flip side, in the Adam Eaton deal, they get back one of their rotation pieces in Reynaldo Lopez and another one in Lucas Giolito. And although Giolito hasn't really panned out for the White Sox as they hoped, he has shown signs of improvement of late. And this is a deal that I think that the Nationals are going to regret long-term, giving up two pitchers for a player, in my opinion, who's not a superstar. So give Rick Hahn credit for selling high on Sale and Eaton. The Cincinnati Reds getting Adam Duvall in the Mike Leake trade. Yes, Adam Duvall has not had a good season this year, but the last 2 years he's been phenomenal. I think the Reds are looking at themselves, realizing that they might have made a mistake in not actually trading him last year or the year before when his value was higher. But they traded Mike Leake for a guy that's turned into a big asset for this team that hit 30 home runs in back-to-back seasons in 2016 and 17. The Cleveland Indians signing Edwin Encarnacion. Encarnacion is going to be a major difference maker in the Indians' offense for the rest of the season, and he's made a difference in their offense this year as well. He hits for power, although he might strike out a lot, but he's somebody that the Indians absolutely had to bring in, and he was a much better upgrade over Carlos Santana, although Santana's done okay with the Phillies. But Encarnacion just hits for flat-out power, He hits 30 home runs in a season, and he's somebody that's going to be a big difference maker for them in October. The Rockies drafting John Gray. Yes, John Gray has not had a good year this year. He started the wild card game for them last year, and he's been pretty solid as a Colorado Rocky, although he actually got demoted recently, and I think he'll eventually come back and look like the guy that he was last year. The Detroit Tigers getting Franklin Perez in the Justin Verlander trade. Perez has been unbelievable in terms of a pitching prospect. Detroit's rebuild is going to go faster than folks think because of guys like Perez and the drafting of Casey Mize. But I think Perez is going to be a stud. And although the Astros deserve credit because they won the World Series, he's a guy, Perez is going to be a guy that they may regret giving up. The Houston Astros trading for Justin Verlander, the most important trade in franchise history. Yes, it was an August trade, and they got it done at the last minute. Verlander went in there and changed everything for the Astros, and he was a huge reason why they won the World Series a year ago. And if it weren't for him, maybe we're talking about the New York Yankees or the Los Angeles Dodgers winning the World Series instead of the Astros. The Kansas City Royals trading for Johnny Cueto. This really helped them win the World Series in 2015. Yes, they gave up Sean Manaea in another trade that they made for Ben Zobrist. That was a mistake. They gave up Brandon Finnegan in the deal for Cueto. And Finnegan at the time was a highly regarded prospect, but he hasn't really panned out with the Reds. But despite Cueto walking away in free agency, he really helped them snap their championship drought and being an ace at the top of that rotation to go with the late Yandero Ventura. The Los Angeles Angels signing Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani's an absolute stud. Yeah, he was just on the disabled list and just came back with the elbow problem. But when he's healthy, he's proven to be an absolute stud, not only with the bat, but in the rotation. He should have been getting more at-bats, and his pitching skills are just unbelievable. Yeah, he was beat up against the Red Sox, and who knows what would have happened if he faced the Yankees, and if he was going to show up for that one or look like the guy that we saw against the Red Sox. But he's shown so much promise on the mound and at the plate. And it looks like the Angels did the right thing in signing Ohtani and not sending him down to AAA after he struggled mightily in spring training. The Los Angeles Dodgers not trading away Cody Bellinger or Corey Seager in any trade. The Dodgers are very weary of trading away top prospects in any deals, and they've been criticized over the last couple years for not including one of those guys in any trade, and it looks like a good decision as both of those guys have panned out to be franchise players, although Seager's on the shelf right now due to Tommy John surgery. The Miami Marlins getting Lewis Brinson in the Christian Yelich trade. Lewis Brinson has struggled this season, but he's shown some signs of life of late, and he's somebody that I think the Marlins are going to be looking at as a long-term building block. The Milwaukee Brewers getting Travis Shaw in the Tyler Thornburg trade. Wow, this is a highway robbery trade. Tyler Thornburg hasn't thrown a pitch in a Red Sox uniform due to injuries, and Travis Shaw has gone to Milwaukee and produced a lot of power and runs with the bat with the Brewers, and he's somebody that I think the Red Sox regret giving up already. The Minnesota Twins not giving up on Byron Buxton. Yes, Buxton's on the disabled list right now due to injury, but there's been many times throughout Buxton's young career that made people think, oh, he looks like a bust. But the Twins had not given up on him at the end of last year. He was phenomenal and helped the Twins make the wild card game against the Yankees. The Mets trading for Yoenis Cespedes. Yes, they gave up Michael Fulmer in the deal that have people arguing that the Tigers won that trade. But no, Yoenis Cespedes helped the Mets reach the World Series in 2015, and if it weren't for him, they're not even in the playoffs. And Sandy Alderson deserves credit for that trade. Yes, he's on the disabled list right now and he isn't healthy, but he's somebody, when he's healthy, is a world difference maker. The Yankees trading for Didi Gregorius. Yes, trading Aroldis Chapman for Gleyber Torres probably deserves an argument too, but they didn't give up much to get what turns out to be a star shortstop in Didi Gregorius. They gave up Shane Green, who's now the closer of the Detroit Tigers, who really hasn't had a good year. And Didi Gregorius, despite struggling in the month of May, he has been absolutely phenomenal this year. He's been a great Yankee, although he struggled those first couple months in pinstripes. They couldn't have found a better person to replace Derek Jeter long term, but Didi is putting up astonishing, phenomenal numbers. He's on his way to becoming the only shortstop in Yankees history to post 3 seasons in a row with 20-plus home runs. And he's somebody that I think is going to be a Yankee for a very long time. I'd be surprised if they got rid of him, although he's in a contract year next year. I think the Yankees should extend him. The Athletics trading for Chris Davis. They did not give up much for Chris Davis in the trade with the Milwaukee Brewers. But he's somebody that has improved since he's got the Oakland 40 home run hitter. They didn't give up much for him. The Philadelphia Phillies selling high on Cole Hamels in 2015. This trade really jump-started their rebuild. They got 2 starters in that deal, and Nick Williams, their right fielder, and Jorge Alfaro, their catcher. And Hamels has been a nice fit on the Rangers, helped them get the 2 playoff appearances. But Hamels is going to be on the move again this summer, and in all likelihood, maybe back to the Phillies. That would be a fun story, but Philadelphia sold high on him in 2015 and got 2 key pieces back in that trade. And they also sold high on Ken Giles by getting Vince Velasquez back in that deal. Although Velasquez has been disappointing this season and has been injured often as a Philly, but give the Phils credit for selling high on Hamels and Giles. And in Giles' case, you ended up getting not only a starter in Vince Velasquez, but another solid pitcher in Jared Eichhoff. And although, wait a minute, I think Eichhoff might have came in the Hamels deal. But yeah, give the Phillies credit, although Ruben Amaro Jr. pulled off the Hamels deal. He got fired after that. But Amaro deserves credit for actually jump-starting this rebuild a little bit, and now they're a contender in the National League East. The Pittsburgh Pirates not giving up on Jamison Taillon and Tyler Glasnow. These are 2 guys that had some struggles earlier in their careers. Taillon is on his way to becoming the ace of the Pirates staff. He's somebody that has had some struggles of late, but he's someone I think is going to be a stud long-term. Tyler Glasnow, field starter, has shown some promise as a reliever. The St. Louis Cardinals not trading away Luke Weaver, Jack Flaherty in trades. These are 2 guys that are in their rotation right now and have shown some great promise. Luke Weaver's their number 5 starter and has had some struggles, but last night he was excellent, and I think Luke Weaver will improve as his career goes forward, and same for Jack Flaherty. Flaherty has shown more promise to be a number 1 or number 2 type of starter in the big leagues, and the Cardinals deserve credit for not giving up these guys in trades. The San Diego Padres selling high on Drew Pomeranz. This is easy. They end up with one of the better pitching prospects in the game, and Anderson Espinosa. And he's somebody that I think the Red Sox will regret giving up long term for a guy that I think is mediocre. The San Francisco Giants not trading away Ty Blach in any trades. Blach is somebody that has started some starts for the Giants and has come out of the pen for them. He's shown so much promise, and I think he's someone that's going to be a Giant for a while. The Seattle Mariners not giving up on James Paxton. Paxton's been in trade rumors in the past, but he's having the best season of his career this year. He's hanging around with a 3.6 ERA, something around there. He pitched a no-hitter this year against the Blue Jays in Canada. and he's somebody that I think is going to be a Mariner for a while. The Tampa Bay Rays getting Willie Adames in the David Price trade. I think this was easy. Adames is going to be their starting shortstop for a long time, and somebody that I think is going to be a star in this league. The Texas Rangers not trading Joey Gallo in a trade to improve their roster. Yes, Gallo is hitting a subpar, something around like 190, but he's somebody that's provided a lot of power for them with the bat and producing runs, although he's basically home run or strikeout. But Gallo is somebody that's worth keeping around. The Toronto Blue Jays trading for Josh Donaldson in 2014-15 offseason. Donaldson had the best years of his career in 2015 and 16, helping the Blue Jays go to the postseason in both those seasons. And they didn't give up much for him. Kendall Graveman's turned out to be a bust with the Athletics. Franklin Barreto is shuffling between AAA and the majors. And that trade is going to go down as one of the better ones that Alex Anthopoulos made as the GM as the Blue Jays. And the easiest one on this list is the Washington Nationals signing Max Scherzer. Yes, Scherzer has a big contract, but he's pitching the best baseball of his career since joining the Nationals. And maybe the NL is what really helped Scherzer. Well, the transition into the NL, but Scherzer's been one of the best, if not the best pitcher in baseball since signing with the Washington Nationals. All right, that's it for that segment. Now I'm going to talk about buy or sell as my next segment, Major League Baseball edition. We'll go through all the teams and make the argument for buy or sell for the trade deadline. Arizona Diamondbacks, buy. They need to improve their bullpen. Their middle infield needs improvement. And their back end rotation can use an upgrade as well, because I personally don't think that Clay Buchholz is going to continue to pitch well. The Atlanta Braves, buyer. They need an upgrade at third base over Johan Camargo, although Camargo has been pretty solid for them. I don't think he's the answer there long term. They need a lot of bullpen help. Their bullpen was good earlier in the year. It's faltered of late. Back in the rotation, I think needs some work as well. I do not think that Anibal Sanchez will continue to pitch well. And you could argue that they should go out and pursue one of the top starters on the market, like a Cole Hamels or a Michael Fulmer or somebody like that, because they have the farm system to pull off a big trade. Baltimore Orioles, sell. Manny Machado, Adam Jones, Brad Brock, Zach Britton. Get what you can for them. Boston Red Sox, buyer. They can use an upgrade at catcher. JT Realmuto would be a nice fit, although that would be an expensive deal, and the Red Sox don't have the assets to do that because most of their top prospects are either hurt or suspended. Back end of the rotation could use some help because I don't think that Drew Pomeranz will continue to be great. And he's always an injury away. Either him or Porcello or somebody's an injury away. David Price even, an injury away from being on the DL. And the back end of their bullpen is their biggest need, specifically the 7th-8th inning bridge, the Craig Kimbrell. The White Sox be a seller, Jose Abreu, James Shields, Avisail Garcia, Joaquin Soria. Get what you can for those guys. Cincinnati Reds, seller, Scott Schebler, Scooter Gennett, Matt Harvey, Raciel Iglesias. Get what you can for those guys. Indians should be a buyer. Second baseman, or even the third baseman, and move Jose Ramirez to second base. Back end of the rotation could use some help with Danny Salazar hurt. And the bullpen could use some help outside of Andrew Miller and Cody Allen. Although Miller and Allen have not been good this year, the Indians need a third guy, and then to get Miller and Allen going. Colorado Rockies, seller. Get what you can for Carlos Gonzalez and Adam Ottavino. Cal Freeland would draw some interest as well. Detroit Tigers, seller. Nicholas Castellanos having a career year. Get what you can for him. Michael Fulmer, Francisco Liriano, Shane Green. Get what you can for those guys. Astros, buyer. They can use an upgrade at first base if they want to go that route, although Gurriel's been playing better of late. And their biggest need is the bullpen. They need a closer. Hector Rondon's doing a nice job since coming in and replacing Ken Giles as the closer. But Rondon, to me, is not the answer long term. Kansas City Royals, Seller. Get what you can. Mike Moustakas, Whit Merrifield, Danny Duffy, Ian Kennedy. I don't like the return they got back for Kelvin Herrera. He's worth a lot more than that. Los Angeles Angels, sell. Yes, I did just say sell. Anybody that's not Shohei Ohtani or Mike Trout, maybe try to get what you can for somebody like Garrett Richards. Get what you can for somebody like Cole Calhoun. Buy low on him. Or sell low on Cole Calhoun. Dodgers, buyer. An impact position player. Rotation can use some help with Walker Buehler being injured and Clayton Kershaw not really being the same. And the bullpen can use improvement, specifically the bridge to Kenley Jansen. Marlins, seller. Get what you can for JT Realmuto, Justin Bour, Martin Prado, Cameron Maybin, Wei-Yin Chen. Can even draw some interest. He's pitched okay lately. Adam Conley, Kyle Barclow, and Drew Steckenrider. Milwaukee Brewers, buyer. An impact middle infielder, frontline ace. The frontline ace is the Brewers' bigger need. If they don't get a frontline ace, they, dare I say, won't make the playoffs because I think the Cubs are coming. And I think the Cardinals are coming. Minnesota Twins, seller. Get what you can for Brian Dozier, Eduardo Escobar, Logan Morrison, Lance Lynn, Jake Odorizzi, Fernando Rodney, Zach Duke. The Mets, sell. Pretty much sell everybody that's not Michael Conforto, Brandon Nimmo, Ahmed Rosario. Get what you can for guys like Asdrubal Cabrera, even Todd Frazier, Yoenis Cespedes. If he were healthy, somebody would make a nice offer for the Mets. Devin Mesoraco, Jay Bruce, Jacob deGrom, Noah Syndergaard, Zach Wheeler, Steven Matz, Horaceous Familia. Yankees, buyer. They need an above-average starter. A lot of people have them linked to J Happ. I personally don't think J Happ is the answer for the Yankees. Somebody that's trading for J Happ is somebody that's trading for him to make the playoffs. The Yankees need a pitcher to trade for to win the World Series. The Giants have lost 4 straight games. I think Madison Bumgarner in pinstripes would be special. I predicted that before the season. The Giants have lost 4 straight right now. If they continue to start losing games, maybe they'll eventually go in that direction. That's what I think they should do, the Giants. I'll get to them more in a minute. But the Yankees need an above-average starter, whether it's Madison Bumgarner or even try to get one of those Mets guys without giving up Gleyber Torres or Miguel Andujar. And you can make an argument that the back end of their bullpen needs some help too. Chasen Shreve has not been good for them. He has single-handedly cost the Yankees some wins. Maybe like one of those Marlin guys like Drew Steckenrider or Adam Conley won't require much. Or even former Yankee Kirby Yates from San Diego. The Athletics, seller. They're not even close to the Mariners in the wild card race, although they've been playing great lately, but they have no choice but to sell. Jed Lowry, Jonathan Lucroy, Blake Trinan are the guys that I would cash in on if you're Oakland. I wouldn't trade Sean Manaea. He still has some years left under control, and I think this is a team on the rise. So get what you can for Jed Lowry, Jonathan Lucroy, and Blake Trinan, and you don't trade Chris Davis either. Unless somebody blows you away. And the same can be said about Manaea, but I don't think anybody would trade for Davis or Manaea. Or at least I don't think Oakland would trade him. Philadelphia Phillies, buyer. Left side of the infield impact bat. Manny Machado would be amazing in Philadelphia. He would be a major difference maker for them. I think that would be the parallel of J.D. Martinez to the Diamondbacks last year, or Yoenis Cespedes to the Mets in 2015. And they need an upgrade in their bullpen. Sir Anthony Dominguez has done a nice job as their closer since taking over as their closer. The rest of their bullpen is mediocre to subpar. I think they're a dark horse candidate to go out and trade for San Diego's Brad Hand or even Zach Britton. If they can get Machado and Britton together in a package, I'd do that if you're Philadelphia. The Pittsburgh Pirates, seller. Get what you can for guys like Corey Dickerson, Starling Marte, Jordy Mercer, Josh Harrison, Francisco Cervelli, Richard Rodriguez, and Felipe Vasquez. St. Louis Cardinals, a buyer. They need a infield impact bat. Maybe Manny Machado, maybe Mike Moustakas. Those would be two nice fits for them. And they need bullpen arms. Greg Holland has not been good as a St. Louis Cardinal. There was a good flyer risk, but it didn't work out for them. If I'm them, I go out and get maybe one of those Miami guys or Kirby Yates. Bud Norris has done a nice job as their closer. And maybe they're a dark horse candidate to go out and get one of those bigger names because they have the prospects to do it. The San Diego Padres sell. You got to take advantage of guys like Freddie Galvis. He would help a contender off the bench. Tyson Ross, Brad Hand, Kirby Yates. San Francisco Giants, I made the argument a couple minutes ago. Sell. You've lost 4 straight games. I don't see you guys as a contender. I don't see any turnaround coming. You have some guys on the disabled list. And you aren't going to be good for a couple years. The Dodgers are here to stay. The Diamondbacks might be headed for a rebuild in a couple years, but right now they're really good. I personally don't think that the Rockies are going to be bad anytime soon, although they haven't had that great of a season. But your farm system is awful, and I would sell if you're the Giants. Brandon Bell, Andrew McCutchen, Evan Longoria, Madison Bumgarner, Johnny Cueto, Jeff Samardzija, Hunter Strickland, Mark Melancon. Get what you can for those guys. I do not think this is a contender at all. And I made the case Madison Bumgarner to the Yankees would be perfect. And San Francisco would get a monster haul back from the Yankees. And even though that won't include Gleyber Torres or Miguel Andujar, they can still get Clint Frazier. They can still get Justice Sheffield, Luis Medina, Albert Abreu. I think those guys get it done. Seattle Mariners, a buyer. They need an above-average starter and some bullpen pieces, specifically the bridge to Edwin Diaz. I'm not a fan of Nick Rumbelow or any guys like that. I like Diaz. He's been solid. Colome has not done a good job since coming over in the trade. I've seen him give up a couple big leads. An above-average starter. J.A. Happ has been above average this year, but to me, he's not the guy you trade for if you want to win the World Series. I made that argument for Bumgarner. Happ would be a better fit on the Mariners because to me, they just need like a veteran guy that's above average. Cole Hamels, I think, would be a better option than J. Happ on the Mariners. Both of those guys would fit great with them. They don't have the farm system to pull up a Bumgarner trade. But I just don't think the Mariners are that much of a World Series contender. But a guy like Cole Hamels can change that. I don't think J. Happ would change that. I think Cole Hamels would be cheap, and he could be a guy that would be rejuvenated on the right team. I think the Mariners would be a better fit than the Yankees for Cole Hamels because it's less pressure. Tampa Bay Rays, sell. Get what you can for guys like Wilson Ramos, C.J. Cron, Daniel Robertson, Carlos Gomez, if you can get something for Gomez. Wilmer Font, who I think has been a good quote-unquote opener for them this year, and Sergio Romo. Texas Rangers, sell. Sell high on guys like Robinson Chirinos, Jurickson Profar, Adrian Beltre, Sin-Soo Choo, Cole Hamels. Toronto Blue Jays, sell. Sell high on guys like Donaldson, Yangervis Solarte, Justin Smoke, Teoscar Hernandez, Curtis Granderson, Marcus Stroman, J.A. Happ, and Roberto Osuna. I don't think they'll get much for Donaldson unless he comes back and has a monster couple weeks. And the Washington Nationals, to me, are a buyer. And they need an above-average starter to go with Steven Strasburg and Max Scherzer in that rotation. The rest of their starting pitching has not been very good. Gio Gonzalez is on and off. I think a guy like J. Happ would be a nice fit in Washington because they don't necessarily need an ace. They need somebody that could be above average. I just don't love the fit with J.A. Happ on the Yankees. To me, that's just not a good fit with a home run friendly ballpark. J. Happ in the National League or J. Happ on the Mariners would be a better fit rather than J. Happ on the Yankees, or even J. Happ on the Red Sox. I don't think would be a good fit either. That's it for the buy or sell segment, and that's it for today's podcast. I'll be back tomorrow recapping the FIFA games from today, all the baseball action for today, and look ahead to tomorrow's games, Summer League, and go over any other news that's gone on. And tomorrow I'll be doing the best NBA moves since 2013 as well. I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.